Welcome to an epic tale of vengeance and dark magic. You will step into the warm robes of Eldrin, a chaotic neutral human sorcerer with an athletic build and determined brown eyes that hint at the depths of his resolve. A hermit by background, Eldrin wields a wand as an extension of his will, channeling potent arcane energies. He is proficient in spellcasting, allowing him to weave spells both wondrous and terrible, and sneaking, aiding him to move with stealth when subtlety is required. Your journey begins in the bustling streets of Neverwinter, where arcane secrets wait to be unlocked and shadowy paths beckon. Prepare to embark on a quest that will test the limits of your power and the strength of your spirit. Let us begin. Your boots make a soft tapping sound on the cobblestones as you stroll towards the grandiose edifice of Neverwinter's main library. The cool breeze carries the scent of parchment and ink, a reminder of the knowledge housed within. Your heart is set on the Necronomicon, a tome of forbidden lore that lies hidden beneath these hallowed halls. You stand before the library's grand entrance, where scholars and mages pass by, lost in thoughts and conversation. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Look for some forbidden tomes. You slip into the library and noticed your previous life of solitude, making it easy to avoid the attention of others. The shelves stretch out in front of you, a labyrinth of knowledge. You wander through, eyes scanning for any sign that might indicate the path to the hidden collection of forbidden tomes you so desperately seek. A stern-looking librarian patrols the area, her eyes sharp as she scrutinizes each visitor. You realize that finding the secret passage to the restricted section will require subtlety and perhaps a bit of cunning. You notice a few oddities in the library's layout that could point to hidden doors or levers. Roll a d20 for an intelligence investigation check to discern any clues to the library's secrets. You rolled 2. As you attempt to discern the library's secrets, you find your concentration broken by the whispers of students and the rustling of pages. You examine several suspicious-looking bookcases and walls, but with no success. Your search only draws the curious gaze of the librarian, who begins to eye you with suspicion. You quickly realize that your efforts have only served to make you stand out in a place where anonymity is your ally. Feeling the librarian's watchful eyes upon you, you decide it might be wise to blend in and perhaps try a different approach. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Find a candle, walk around looking at the flame to find unexplainable drafts. Quick on your feet, you shift your strategy. You locate a small table with a lit candle used by the scholars for additional light. Casually, you carry the candle with you, pretending to read the spines of books as you pass through the aisles. You watch the flame carefully, seeking signs of a draft that might betray the presence of hidden passageways. As you meander, the flame flickers occasionally, but near a particularly ancient section of the library, you notice the candle's flame dance more erratically. There's a draft here that cannot be easily explained by the library's architecture. The draft seems to emanate from a large bookshelf filled with old tomes on arcane theories and forgotten histories. Roll a d20 for a perception check to pinpoint the precise location of the draft and discover how to access the secret passage. You rolled 20. Your keen eyes catch the telltale signs of a mechanism hidden within the bookshelf as the candle's flame bends sharply towards a seemingly innocuous tome. With a critical success, your fingers deftly pull on the book. The shelf quivers and then silently swings open, revealing a narrow staircase spiraling down into darkness. You have discovered the secret entrance to the library's hidden section where the Necronomicon is said to be locked away. With a quick glance around to ensure no one has taken notice of your discovery, you slip through the opening and begin your descent into the shadows below. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Cast a Mage Light. As you descend the staircase, the air grows colder and the darkness becomes almost palpable. Trusting in your arcane abilities, you extend your wand and whisper the incantation for a spell you have come to rely on in times such as these. A soft orb of magical light springs forth from the tip of your wand, casting a gentle glow that pushes back the encroaching shadows. The Mage Light illuminates the hidden library before you, revealing towering shelves of rare and forbidden texts. Somewhere amidst this collection lies the Necronomicon, the key to your brother's return. The silence of the chamber is heavy, filled with the weight of occult knowledge in the presence of countless secrets. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Look for Dali, the tome that tells you how to be bright, with Jigaloo magic. And will summon Thos, who can resist the Necronomicon. Woo-how. In the realm of this tale, the quest for the Necronomicon is Eldrin's sole focus, a book steeped in dark magic with the power to reanimate the dead. There are no tomes by the name of Dali, or books on Jigaloo magic, within the narrative or the established world of Dungeons & Dragons. Eldrin's determination guides him to scan the shelves for the legendary Necronomicon, the tome with a sinister reputation, said to be bound in human flesh and inked in blood. His objective remains clear amidst the myriad of dark volumes, to find the book that contains the ritual needed to bring back his slain brother, heedless of the consequences. With careful steps between the ancient bookcases, Eldrin keeps a vigilant lookout for the dread volume that is essential for his quest. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base tape has been chosen. Look through all the forbidden books. Tell us the names of all the forbidden books. Eldrin's mage light casts eerie shadows across the rows of forbidden books, each title more ominous and arcane than the last. He traces his fingers across the spines, reading the gilt-edged letters, and the names speak to the dangerous knowledge they hold. 1. The Grimoire of the Shadowfell, a tome rumored to hold the keys to otherworldly planes. 2. Prophecies of the Doomsayer, filled with apocalyptic visions and dire warnings. 3. Pact of the Bloodied Sigils, a manual for those seeking to bargain with entities from beyond. 4. The Lexicon of Forbidden Rites, detailing rituals that have been banned for their corrupting influence. 5. Tomes of the Mindbender, a collection said to contain spells that can unravel the psyche. 6. The Bestiary of the Abyss, an account of the most vile creatures that inhabit the lower planes. 7. Chants of the Ghoul Queen, a book containing incantations to summon undead servitors. As your search continues, you find that none of these are the book you seek. Finally, in the darkest corner of the library, you come across a book that sends a shiver down your spine, the Necronomicon. Its cover is a grotesque tapestry of faces, forever frozen in silent screams. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Read the Necronomicon. With a mixture of apprehension and resolve, you open the Necronomicon. The pages are thin and seem to whisper as they turn, the ink shimmering unnaturally in the light of your mage spell. The text is a challenge to comprehend, written in a mixture of ancient languages and arcane symbols, but you manage to decipher the ritual that promises to return your brother to the realm of the living. The instructions are clear yet chilling. To complete the ritual, you must possess the heart of the murderer and the skull of the victim. The gravity of the task ahead sets heavily upon you, but the thought of seeing your brother once more hardens your resolve. Remembering your purpose, you close the book and prepare to leave the secret library. The next step of your journey will take you to your brother's grave, where you must retrieve his skull without attracting attention from the townsfolk. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base tape has been chosen. Find a shovel. Eldrin understands that he must proceed with caution. He ascends the hidden staircase and merges with the library's patrons, eventually stepping back into the bustling streets of Neverwinter. The quest for a shovel begins, a tool essential for the grim task ahead. You decide to seek a general store, a place where such a common item can surely be found. As you walk, the townsfolk mill about, going on with their lives, unaware of the dark path you tread. You find a modest store with various tools propped up against its exterior. Inside, the shopkeeper, a grizzled man with calloused hands, greets you with a nod. Looking for something, he inquires, his voice gruff but not unfriendly. I need a shovel, you state, preparing to make the necessary transaction. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Kaiser Carter has been chosen. Chronicles cast Shakira's Hips Don't Lie, making the person dance and tell you where the shovel is as he must speak the truth. Eldrin's abilities are vast and varied as a sorcerer, but they are bound by the laws of the world in which he exists. Spells like Shakira's Hips Don't Lie do not exist within the realms of Dungeons and Dragons, and as amusing as such a spell might be, it would not be appropriate for Eldrin to cast it. Instead, Eldrin can use the strength of his charisma to engage with the shopkeeper, perhaps persuading him to reveal if he has a shovel for sale without resorting to magical means. After all, a shopkeeper in a bustling city like Neverwinter would likely have such basic tools readily available for customers. You have a good selection of tools here, Eldrin says, a slight smile on his lips. I'm in need of a sturdy shovel. Would you happen to have one? Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Tell the man you're planning on doing some gardening. Giggle while you say this. With a glint of mischief in your eyes, you lean on the shop's counter. I'm planning on doing some gardening, you say, letting out a soft chuckle that seems incongruous with the solemnity of your quest. The shopkeeper raises an eyebrow at the giggle, his gaze momentarily searching yours for jest or sincerity. Gardening, eh? He muses, rubbing at his chin. Well, I've got just the thing for you. Sturdy handle, sharp edge. It'll cut through the earth like butter. He turns and retrieves a well-crafted shovel from a rack of tools, placing it on the counter before you. This one's a favorite among the local gardeners. It'll serve you well, he assures, naming a fair price. You complete the transaction, now equipped with the necessary tool to exhume your brother's skull from its earthly confines under the veil of night. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Based Ape has been chosen. Say thanks and run off like a giggling schoolgirl towards the graveyard. You offer the shopkeeper a nod of thanks, clutching the shovel close. Then, with a surprising burst of frivolity, you dart from the store, a ripple of laughter escaping you as you go. The shopkeeper watches, bemused by your behavior, but shrugs and returns to his work. The town's graveyard lies on the outskirts of Neverwinter, a place of somber reflection where stones and monuments stand as silent sentinels over the resting. Eldrin's unusual mirth fades as he approaches this sacred ground, replaced by the gravity of what he is about to do. The Knight's Cloak will be your ally in this task, for discretion is key. You hold the shovel tightly, aware that the next steps you take will change the course of your destiny forever. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Use my arcane powers to summon a dead spirit to help me in my search and call it Dali. As a sorcerer with a deep connection to the arcane, you possess the power to interact with forces beyond the veil of the living. However, such actions are not taken lightly, as the dead rest uneasy, and the summoning of spirits is a delicate affair. Standing on the hallowed ground of the graveyard, your awareness of the thin barrier between life and death becomes acute. You consider the ritual you read about in the Necronomicon and decide to attempt a lesser invocation, to call forth a spirit that might guide you to your brother's grave. With a whispered incantation, you reach out to the ethereal plane, your will shaping the misty vapors of the graveyard into a form. A faint, ghostly figure materializes before you, its essence barely held together by your magic. You decide to name this spirit Dali, hoping it will assist you without drawing the attention of the living or the dead. Dali, you command gently, guide me to the resting place of my brother. Roll a d20 for an arcana check to determine the success of your spirit summoning and its willingness to aid you. You rolled 2. The spectral form of Dali flickers unsteadily, the weak roll indicating your grasp on the arcane forces at play is tenuous. The spirit seems confused, its essence wavering like a candle in the wind. A hollow moan escapes it, a sound that sends a chill down your spine, a clear sign that your control over the summoning is faltering. The spirit drifts aimlessly for a moment before dispersing into the night air, unable to maintain its presence in the physical realm. It appears you will have to rely on more mundane means to locate your brother's grave. The moon above offers scant illumination as you clutch the shovel and begin to search the graveyard for the stone that marks your brother's resting place. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Find the grave. Start digging. Curse the fates. By the silvery light of the moon, you search the somber grounds, passing by headstones inscribed with the names and epitaphs of those who have passed. Finally, you find the grave you seek. The headstone bears your family's name and beneath lies your brother. With resolve, you plunge the shovel into the soft earth, the sound of soil being turned over filling the silent night. As you dig, you can't help but feel the sting of anger and sorrow for the hand that fate has dealt you. In hushed tones, you vent your frustration with the cruel turn of events that brought you to this moment. Curse the fates that demand such a terrible price, you mutter under your breath, each word punctuated by the thrust of the shovel. As you delve deeper, the hours pass, and the hole grows ever wider and deeper until you uncover the casket that holds what you have come for. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base ape has been chosen. Take your brother's skull. Tell him, sorry old boy, I need to borrow this for a moment. With the casket now exposed, you pry open the lid, revealing the remnants of your brother's mortal form. This grim task weighs heavy on your soul, but the drive for vengeance and the chance to set things right pushes you forward. As you reach for the skull, you pause, taking a moment to acknowledge the gravity of your actions. Sorry, old boy, I need to borrow this for a moment, you whisper to your brother, hoping that wherever his spirit resides, it understands the necessity of your deeds. With the skull now in your possession, you carefully climb out of the grave, filling it back in as best you can to erase any signs of disturbance. Your journey is far from over. You now must track down the rival who killed your brother and lies in wait on the outskirts of a town named Springbourne. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Summon an animal spirit to track the murderer. With the skull safely wrapped in a cloth and tucked away, you focus on the next phase of your quest. You decide to call upon the natural world to aid you in tracking down the murderer of your brother. Drawing on your connection to the arcane, you concentrate on summoning an animal spirit, a creature attuned to the essence of the wild, one that can seek out the faint traces left by your brother's killer. You close your eyes and begin the incantation, a call for assistance to the spirits of nature. The energy of the spell weaves into the night, and you wait with bated breath for a spirit to answer your call. Roll a d20 for an arcana check to determine the success of your summoning and the nature of the spirit that comes forth. You rolled 17. A roll of 17 is a promising outcome. As you complete the incantation, the air around you grows colder, and a soft rustling echoes through the trees. From the shadows, a spectral wolf emerges, its form shimmering with ethereal energy. Its eyes, glowing with a pale light, meet yours, and in them, you sense a deep well of primal wisdom. The spirit wolf pads forward, its steps soundless on the grass. It circles you once, acknowledging the bond formed by your magic, before sitting patiently, awaiting your command. You are to find the one who took my brother's life, you instruct the spirit wolf, handing it a piece of cloth that once belonged to your brother for it to catch the scent. Lead me to him. With a silent nod, the wolf's form blurs as it sets off, guiding you through the night towards Springbourne and the murderer who resides on its outskirts. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Based Ape has been chosen. Name him Bonus Hole and hide him as he follows the scent to the location of the murderer. You regard the ethereal wolf with a mixture of respect and a hint of dark humor. Bonus Hole, you name the spirit animal, a name that sounds peculiar in the stillness of the night. The wolf doesn't seem to mind, its form almost imperceptible as it blends with the shadows. With a gesture of your hand, you encourage Bonus Hole to hide its presence even further as it follows the scent to the murderer's location. The spirit wolf nods, its form flickering like a mirage, and it becomes nearly invisible to the naked eye, detectable only by the faintest ripple in the air. You follow at a distance, careful to avoid drawing attention to yourself as you traverse the outskirts of Springbourne, guided by the nearly unseen presence of Bonus Hole. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. The trail leads you to a dilapidated cottage on the outskirts of Springbourne. Its thatched roof sags, and the walls, made of stacked stone, are moss-covered and show signs of neglect. A single crooked chimney juts from the roof, no smoke rising from its dark maw. The windows are shuttered, and the door hangs slightly ajar, creaking softly with the whisper of the wind. An air of abandonment shrouds the place, yet you sense that this is indeed where your brother's murderer hides. Bonus Hole, still unseen, sits patiently by your side, its otherworldly eyes fixed on the home, confirming your suspicions. You consider your approach carefully, aware that what happens next could be the culmination of your quest for vengeance and resurrection. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Observe the hut for a while first. Wait until the lights go out, then enter the hut. You decide to bide your time and watch the hut from the cover of the nearby woods. As dusk turns to evening, a faint light appears briefly through the cracks in the shutters, suggesting that someone is indeed within. Hours pass, the crescent moon climbing higher in the sky, casting long, shifting shadows. Finally, well into the night, the light is extinguished, plunging the cottage into darkness. You wait a moment longer to ensure that the occupant has settled for the night before you make your move. With Bonus Hole at your side, you goes toward the hut, your footsteps muffled by the soft earth. You reach the ajar door, pausing to listen for any sign of movement within. Satisfied that silence reigns, you ease the door open and slip inside, ready to confront the one who has wronged you. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Stare at the sleeping form of the murderer for a while, plotting how you will hurt him. In the pitch darkness of the cottage, your mage light would be a beacon, so instead you rely on your other senses. The soft, rhythmic breathing of the sleeping figure confirms their unconscious state. You stand there, a shadow among shadows, staring at the vague outline of the murderer's form under a thin blanket. Memories of your brother, of the life that was stolen from him, pulse through your mind. Thoughts of retribution stir within you, a tempest of anger and sorrow. You contemplate the myriad ways you could make the murderer pay for his actions, each more painful than the last. But beyond the desire for vengeance, there's the ritual. The heart of the murderer is a necessary component. This is not just about punishment, it's about the chance to undo what has been done. You must strike with precision and resolve. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Cast a spell to create a sharp sword. Eldrin knows the time for action is now. He quietly steps away from the sleeping figure and focuses his arcane energy. With a whisper, he channels his sorcerer's power into the creation of a weapon. You stretch out your wand, and as you speak the incantation, a shimmering blade begins to take shape. The magic coalesces into a solid form, and soon a sword with a razor-sharp edge materializes in your grasp. Its blade gleams even in the absence of light, a sword forged from pure arcane energy, capable of cutting through both flesh and enchantment. With the summoned sword in hand, you steady your breathing and prepare to strike, knowing that the heart of the murderer is your key to completing the dark ritual. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Draw a small red X to mark the spot on the murderer's chest. With the summoned sword in hand, you cautiously move towards the murderer. The silence in the cottage is almost deafening, broken only by the faint sound of the sleeping man's breaths. You kneel beside him, your eyes adjusting to the darkness, discerning the rise and fall of his chest. Taking a small vial of ink from your robes, you carefully unscrew the cap and dip the tip of your finger in it. With utmost precision, you draw a small red X over the left side of the murderer's chest, marking the location of his heart for your grim task. Every second is drawn out, a delicate balance between haste and caution, as you finalize the preparations for the act that must follow. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Make sure he is awake and watching when you strike. Confronted with the reality of taking a life, even that of your brother's murderer, is a heavy burden, but you steel yourself for what must be done. There's a desire within you for him to know why his end has come, to see the face of the one enacting retribution. Quietly, you lean over and whisper a single word of arcane power, a minor cantrip meant to rouse a person from sleep. His eyes flutter open, confusion and fear flashing within him as they struggle to make out your form in the dark. Look upon me, you command, your voice steady, and know that you are about to pay the final price for taking my brother's life. His gaze locks with yours, recognition dawning and dread filling his eyes as he sees the arcane blade in your hand, poised and ready. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Dart your search for his heart with the tip of the sword. With the murderer's fearful gaze locked onto yours, you press the tip of the arcane blade against the marked spot on his chest. His panicked breaths grow erratic. There's no escape for him, pinned by both your presence and the magic at your disposal. You lean in, allowing the weight of the blade to pierce the skin, beginning your grim search for the vital organ that you required to complete the spell. This is no mere act of vengeance, it is a necessary step on a dark path that you have chosen to walk. As you do so, your thoughts are with your brother, the reason for your relentless pursuit, the driving force behind the lengths you're willing to go to see justice done and to bring him back. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Delicately fillet his chest and remove your grisly trophy. You work with grim determination, the arcane sword in your hand a precise instrument guided by your sorcery and resolve. As you carefully fillet the murderer's chest, he is utterly immobilized, caught in a spell-induced paralysis that prevents him from crying out or resisting in any way. Blood pools and the metallic scent fills the air, a stark reminder of the irreversibility of your actions. Finally, with a surgeon's care, you extract the heart, the key component for the dark ritual that will bring your brother back to the world of the living. The grisly trophy now in your possession, you understand the depths to which you've sunk in pursuit of what you believe to be justice. With the heart secured and wrapped with the same cloth that holds your brother's skull, you prepare to leave this place of death and return to the secret library to perform the ritual. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Use your powers to create a zombie out of the murderer to protect you. With the murderer lying lifeless before you, you sense an opportunity to harness the dark energies that have already been set in motion. You decide to raise the man you've just slain as an undead guardian, to serve as protection on your journey back to the secret library. You focus your sorceress energy, channeling the raw power of necromancy that you've learned from the Necronomicon. The air in the cottage becomes electric, the very essence of death and decay coalescing around your wand as you direct it toward the fallen murderer. Roll a d20 for a necromancy spell check to determine the success of your attempt to raise a zombie protector. You rolled 16. With a roll of 16, your spellcasting proves potent. The energies of necromancy swirl within the room, converging on the body of the murderer. A moment of tense silence follows, and then, with a shuddering gasp, the body lurches upward. The eyes that open are devoid of the light of life, now glowing with an eerie, unnatural sheen. The murderer stands, his movements jerky and stiff, as he turns to regard you, awaiting your command. You have successfully raised a zombie guardian. It stands between you and the dangers of the night, ready to defend you as you make your way back to complete the dark ritual. With your new undead companion in tow, you exit the cottage and head towards the secret library, your heart heavy but your resolve unshaken. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base tape has been chosen. Return to the secret library with Bonus Hole and the zombie murderer to see what the Necronomicon says to do next. The journey back to the secret library beneath Neverwinter's main library is undertaken in silence. You are flanked by Bonus Hole, the spectral wolf whose form flickers like a shadow, and the shambling figure of the zombie murderer, a grotesque sentinel bound to your will. Upon reaching the library, the stillness of the vast chamber greets you once more, the shelves filled with arcane knowledge and forbidden lore. With the components for the ritual in hand, the heart and the skull, you approach the place where you left the Necronomicon. Opening the tome to the page detailing the resurrection spell, you follow the instructions meticulously, preparing the area as described. The ritual will require you to recite incantations, arrange the necessary components in a specific pattern, and channel your own life force into the spell. With everything in place, you take a deep breath, steeling yourself for the moment of truth. The air grows cold around you as you begin the ritual, the words of power resonating through the library's hidden depths. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base tape has been chosen. Chant Abracadabra Wiggly Woo as the spell completes. As the ritual nears its culmination, you weave the ancient incantations with unwavering focus. The air crackles with arcane energy, the heart and skull before you bathed in an otherworldly glow. Just as the spell's power reaches its peak, you interlace the final words of power with a personal touch, uttering an unconventional phrase, Abracadabra Wiggly Woo. While not part of the traditional vernacular, the words carry your intent, fueled by the desire to see your brother again. A sudden surge of magic pulses through the chamber, and the components of the ritual are consumed in a flash of dark energy. For a moment, there is silence. Then, the unthinkable happens. A figure shrouded in shadows slowly rises from the ground, its movements jerky and unsteady. Your brother stands before you, reborn into Undeath, his eyes reflecting a soulless hunger. He lurches towards you, a grotesque parody of the sibling you once knew. The Necronomicon offered no warnings of this outcome. Your brother has returned as a zombie, and he now attacks you, driven by the necrotic magic that gave him this semblance of life. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Scream like a schoolgirl, and run. In an uncontrollable burst of panic, your voice echoes through the chamber with a high-pitched scream reminiscent of a frightened schoolgirl. The sound of your own terror propels you into a frenzied dash away from the grotesque creature that was once your beloved brother. Your undead guardian and Bonus Hole react to the chaos, the zombie shuffling awkwardly as if to intercept the monstrosity, and the spectral wolf darting around with ghostly agility. You dart between the towering bookshelves, your heart pounding in your chest as you navigate the labyrinthine library. The thought of having to harm your brother again, even in his current state, fills you with anguish and desperation. As you run, you realize that you must find a way to end this nightmare, to lay your brother's soul to rest once and for all, and confront the consequences of the dark path you have chosen. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Find a villager to feed to your brother. There are enough villagers to feed to your beloved brother. Eldrin's descent into darkness has been steep and fraught with peril. Yet, as a character of chaotic neutral alignment, you entertain the idea of furthering your brother's undead existence through grim means. However, the thought of sacrificing innocence to sustain a twisted form of life for your brother strikes a chord within you, a remnant of the person you were before vengeance clouded your judgment. You halt in your tracks, the weight of your actions pressing heavily upon you. Eldrin, despite his depths of despair and the chaos of his path, knows that ushering more souls into death's embrace is not the answer he seeks. It is not justice, it is not the reunion he envisioned. The sounds of your brother's shambling form draw closer, and you realize you must make a choice. You can confront the creature he has become, or you can seek another way to end this, one that does not involve further torment for the living. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Total blackout painting has been chosen. Search the book for a solution. With the urgency of the moment upon you and your brother's undead form closing in, you turn back to the Necronomicon, desperate for a solution that might save both the villagers and your own twisted semblance of family. Flipping through the pages hastily, your eyes scan the ancient text for any hint of a reversal, a counterspell, or a way to undo what has been done. The library around you is silent except for the sounds of your brother's unsteady approach and the rustling of the pages as you search. Roll a d20 for an intelligence, arcana, check to determine your success in finding a way to rectify the situation without harming others. You rolled 9. With a roll of 9, your search through the Necronomicon is frantic and haphazard. The text is dense, filled with obscure references and complex magical theories that elude your full understanding. In your haste, you overlook many of the finer details that could potentially lead to a solution. The dread realization settles in that there might not be a simple answer within these pages, or perhaps the panic of the moment has clouded your ability to find it. You feel the time slipping away as the shuffling steps of your undead brother grow ever nearer. It becomes clear that you must face the consequences of the ritual gone awry. You must confront the creature that now wears your brother's face and find a way to lay his soul to rest, by force if necessary. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Chop off your left arm to feed to your dear brother. The suggestion to harm yourself is a drastic and shocking one. In the world of Dungeons and Dragons, characters are often faced with difficult decisions, but self-mutilation is a dire choice that could lead to permanent damage or death. Eldrin, wrought with grief and desperation at the sight of his zombified brother, might consider many options. However, as the Dungeon Master, it's critical to remind you of the potential consequences of such an action. If you wish to proceed, you must be aware of the severe implications. Alternatively, you might consider other courses of action that could resolve this situation without causing yourself grave harm. Eldrin has a wealth of arcane knowledge and power at his disposal. Perhaps there is another way to appease or subdue the creature that was once his brother. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Sing a lullaby to soothe him. In a moment of clarity amidst the chaos, you recall a lullaby that your mother once sang to you and your brother in the days of your youth. A song of comfort and solace, it carries with it the warmth of memories and the bond of family. You begin to hum the gentle tune, letting the melody fill the space between you and the approaching undead form of your brother. The notes are soft, yet they resonate with the power of heartfelt emotion, a stark contrast to the dark spellwork that has dominated your actions thus far. Roll a d20 for a charisma check to determine the effect of your lullaby on the zombified brother. You rolled 6. With a roll of 6, your voice wavers, the strain of recent events seeping into the lullaby. The melody that once soothed and calmed now struggles to rise above the discord of your current reality. Your brother's undead form continues its relentless advance, seemingly unaffected by the song. The lullaby, though heartfelt, is unable to reach the remnants of the soul that once inhabited your brother's body. The magic that animates him now is too strong, too alien to be swayed by such tender memories. Despite the outcome, your efforts have not gone unnoticed. The act of singing the lullaby has reaffirmed your connection to the brother you once knew, and in doing so, it has steeled your resolve. You know what you must do. It is time to end this tragic reanimation and give your brother the peace he deserves. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Realizing that there is only one thing that will sway the Zombabadino, the ancient art of the twerk. This will slay. Get bonus hole to join. In the heat of the moment, surrounded by books of ancient wisdom and dark magic, you are struck by an unconventional idea. Perhaps what is needed is not a spell or a fight but an act so unexpected, so out of place, that it might just break through the necrotic enchantment binding your brother. You decide to perform the ancient art of twerking, a dance from a realm far removed from this one, in hopes of somehow swaying the Zombabadino, that which was once your brother. Bonus hole, the spectral wolf, seems to sense the shift in your demeanor and stands ready to follow your lead, its ethereal form preparing to mimic your movements. Together, you face the approaching zombie, and you begin to twerk with all the vigor and enthusiasm you can muster. The absurdity of the situation, the contrast between the dire circumstances and the rhythmic gyrating, creates a spectacle that is as bewildering as it is bizarre. Roll a d20 to see how the Zombabadino reacts to your unexpected performance. You've rolled 16. With a roll of 16, your twerking performance is surprisingly compelling. The rhythmic movements and the sheer incongruity of the dance in such a grim setting create a spectacle that is impossible to ignore. Bonus hole, the spectral wolf, joins in, its ghostly form shimmering as it moves in sync with you. The Zombabadino, your brother's undead form, pauses in its tracks, seemingly confused or perhaps entranced by the display. The absurdity of it all seems to create a crack in the necromantic energies animating him. For a moment, it seems as though the ancient art of twerking has accomplished what no spell or plea could. Your brother's ravaged form stands still, and the relentless drive to attack that filled his undead eyes seems to dim. Seizing the opportunity, you must decide quickly how to use this unexpected advantage to bring about a resolution to this tragic encounter. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Work harder as if your brother's life depending on it, get him to join. Driven by the surreal success of your initial performance, you redouble your efforts. With a fierce determination, you twerk with an intensity as if the very life of your brother depends on it. The motion is a whirlwind of emotion, a plea for forgiveness, a cry for the past, a rite of remembrance. As you dance, you beckon to the zombified form of your brother, inviting him to join in this cathartic release. The dance, so full of life, stands in stark contrast to his undead state. In an inexplicable twist, the Zombabadino shuffles forward. It's uncertain if he's drawn by the dance or the remnants of a long-lost connection, but he begins to mimic your movements in his own jerky, uncoordinated way. The sight is as heart-wrenching as it is bizarre, and for a moment, the library transforms from a place of dark rituals into a stage for a dance between worlds, the living and the dead. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Jessica Hall has been chosen. Get the zombie murderer, to join in. The scene before you has taken on a surreal quality that defies the grim atmosphere of the secret library. You give a nod to your zombie guardian, a silent command for him to join the strange dance. The undead murderer, still bound to your will, complies awkwardly. Now, three figures dance in the dimly lit chamber: Eldrin, the chaotic neutral human sorcerer, leading the macabre ballet; Bonus Hole, the spectral wolf, shimmering with otherworldly energy; and the zombie murderer, a grotesque participant in this bizarre ritual. As the dance continues, an odd sense of camaraderie forms between the living and the undead. The library, once a place of silent study, now echoes with the strange symphony of twerking bodies and the soft growls of the spectral wolf. For a brief, haunting moment, the dance bridges the gap between life and death, offering a glimpse of unity and the potential for reconciliation. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Base tape has been chosen. Perform a spell called the said Twerk of Death that twerks your brother back to the land of the dead. Embracing the unorthodox method that has bizarrely swayed the undead before you, you decide to channel your magical energy into a final, desperate act, the said Twerk of Death. It's an improvised spell, born from the chaotic energy that surrounds you, the dance of life, and the presence of death. You begin the incantation, imbuing each movement with arcane power. The twerk becomes more than a dance, it is a ritual, a somber performance that weaves a farewell to a soul that has lingered too long in the realm of the living. Roll a d20 for a charisma performance check to determine the success of your spell and whether you can send your brother's spirit back to the land of the dead with the power of your said Twerk of Death. You rolled 10. With a roll of 10, your said Twerk of Death spell is neither a resounding success nor a complete failure. The movements and rhythm you impart into the dance carry with them an intention, a desire for closure and peace, which the magic latches onto. The spell creates a somber spectacle. The magical energies you conjure interweave with your dance, casting fluctuating shadows across the library walls. Your brother's undead form, caught in the spell's influence, begins to twerk in an eerily synchronized manner, a final macabre performance before the end. While not powerful enough to fully return your brother's spirit to the land of the dead, the spell does seem to pacify him. His movements slow, and the aggression that drove him to attack fades. He stands before you, less a threat now and more a tragic figure caught between two worlds. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Try the said Twerk of Death again. Use more passion this time, more energy. Feeling the need to amplify your efforts, you gather your will and focus your energy with renewed intensity. You prepare to perform the said Twerk of Death once again, this time pouring all of your passion, your sorrow, and your fervent hope for your brother's peaceful repose into the movements. Your body acts as a conduit for the raw magical forces you call upon, the dance now a powerful expression of the bond you once shared with your brother. You twerk with a vigor and energy that surpasses your previous attempt, each motion a tribute to his memory. Roll a d20 for a charisma performance check to see if your impassioned dance can finally guide your brother's spirit back to where it belongs. You rolled 9. The intensity of your performance increases, fueled by the passion and energy you pour into each movement. Yet, with a roll of 9, the spell still does not seem to reach the potency required to sever the necromantic ties binding your brother to this world. Despite this, the added fervor of your dance does not go unnoticed. The air around you seems to throb with the power of your emotions, and your undead brother's movements become sluggish, his form wavering between the material plane and the shadow of death. While the said Twerk of Death has yet to accomplish its intended purpose fully, you sense that you're close to a breakthrough. Your brother's undead form appears calmer, less driven by hunger, and more by the rhythm of your heartfelt plea for rest. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat to choose what the character should do next. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Clap those cheeks as hard as you can. The shockwaves send your brother back to the land of the dead. Shout, begone thought, to send him from this mortal coil. Channeling all the energy at your disposal, you take a deep breath and prepare for the climax of your dance. With a powerful motion, you clap, creating a resounding smack that echoes through the secret library, the shockwaves rippling through the air. You then shout with all the authority and command you can muster, begone thought. The words are a forceful command, meant to sever the unnatural ties that bind your brother's spirit to the mortal world. Roll a d20 to determine if the combined might of your impassioned command and the thunderous clap are enough to release your brother's spirit and allow him to find peace at last. You've rolled 18. With a roll of 18, the force of your clapping combined with your commanding shout, begone thought, resonates with a mighty power that transcends the physical realm. The shock waves from your actions seem to ripple through the very essence of your brother's undead form. The zombified figure is engulfed in a sudden burst of spectral energy, and his movements cease. As the echoes of your words fade, so too does the form of your brother, his body dissolving into motes of light that drift upwards and disappear like stars winking out at dawn. Silence descends upon the library once more, and you are left with the feeling that your brother's spirit has finally been released from its corporeal prison. You have achieved what you set out to do, though not in the way you had ever anticipated. In the wake of this resolution, a sense of peace fills you, mingled with sorrow for all that has been lost and done. Your journey has come to an end, and the time has come to reflect on the path you've walked and the choices you've made. The secret library, once a place of dark ambition, now stands as a quiet testament to the power of love, determination, and the unexpected. The adventure has reached its conclusion. Your actions have set the story, and the echoes of this tale will linger long after the final page is turned. Thank you for playing. Base Ape has been chosen. Unable to take the pain of killing your own brother, cast the powerful, Self-Forever Sleep spell. The weight of your actions bears heavily upon you. In your quest to bring back your brother, you have delved into the darkest corners of sorcery and faced the true consequences of tampering with life and death. The grief of losing him a second time, now by your own hand, is a burden too great for you to bear. With a heart full of anguish, you resign yourself to finding solace in eternal rest. Gathering the last of your magical energy, you begin to chant the incantation for the Self-Forever Sleep spell, a powerful magic that will grant you escape from the torment of this world. The air around you grows still as the spell takes hold, and a gentle numbness spreads through your body. You feel yourself slipping away from the physical realm, your spirit ready to depart and join your brother wherever he may now be. Roll a d20 to determine the outcome of this final, desperate spell. You rolled 4. With a roll of 4, the Self-Forever Sleep spell is fumbled, your grief and exhaustion muddle the incantation, and the arcane energies you attempt to harness recoil. An unexpected warmth fills your chest, and instead of the eternal slumber you sought, you find yourself in a deep, dreamless sleep that overtakes your senses. When you awaken, you are still within the confines of the secret library, the weight of your brother's absence a heavy shadow upon your heart. Though you failed to end your own life, the realization dawns on you that perhaps there is a reason you must continue in this world. You rise to your feet, the consequences of your actions and the loss of your brother etched into your being. There is much to atone for and a long path ahead to seek redemption or acceptance. The story of Eldrin, the chaotic neutral sorcerer, is not over yet, and the future is uncertain. You step out of the library and into the light of a new day, a day that holds both the promise of beginning anew and the challenge of living with the choices you've made. The adventure has come to a close, not with the end you envisioned, but with the chance for a new beginning. Thank you for playing. As the final, sorrowful chord of the story fades away, the sorcerer's journey comes to a close within the hallowed walls of the secret library. The tale of vengeance and forbidden magic concludes with bitter reflection on the cost of delving into powers beyond mortal ken. The story has been told, but the adventures we create here are never truly finished. They live on in the tales we share and the memories we forge together. If you have found yourself spellbound by this tale, consider supporting the craft through Patreon to help sustain the magic of these narratives. Your support helps cover the costs of running the game and allows us to conjure more enchanting adventures for you. Don't forget to show your support for the channel by liking and subscribing. Every click is a stepping stone to grander journeys. You can further our quest by sharing the channel with friends and communities you're part of. Together, we can gather a fellowship of adventurers like no other. For those who wish to delve deeper into the lore and camaraderie, join our Discord server, where the fires of conversation burn bright. The link awaits in the description below. Finally, we extend our gratitude to our partner, 11 Labs, whose support enhances our endeavors. Discover more through the link in the video description. Thank you for being a part of this story, and may your own tales be just as unforgettable.